Alright, here we go with my look at Transformers Generations Kup, or as it says here on the back of the packaging, Sergeant Kup. Let's get started here just by reading off the little character bio here on the back of the package. It says here, Sergeant Kup is the oldest soldier any of the Autobots know. Even before the war, he was a career military bot dedicated to defending Cybertron against all threats. His long service has supplied him with an endless array of war stories, which he never hesitates to share with his comrades no matter what else is going on. So that's the little character bio there. And as you can see, it shows him off there in the robot mode. Obviously, it's going to show the alt mode, has a little stat readout there. So let's just get this out of the way and get started talking about the actual toy here. And there he is there in his alt mode, which is a pickup truck of some kind. Obviously, it looks like it's modeled after an Earth pickup truck. Few little negative complaints here on this guy, and that would be these panels in here. I find that transforming it from the robot to the alt mode here, it's a little fidgety with regards to getting these panels to kind of line up properly and not have a lot of gaps in there and just kind of, you know, sit in there all flush. You kind of can see in here there's a little bit of a gap here, as opposed to on this side there's a little less of a gap there. So it's not a big deal, but it is kind of annoying. But if you work with it, you should be able to get them to line up pretty well. It shouldn't be too big of a thing. The other little complaint is right in here is clearly visible a robot part here in the window. That's a little distracting. Not a big deal though. And another little nitpick would be the wheels here. The hubcaps aren't painted. It's just all, you know, one piece of solid black plastic. Again, I've kind of mentioned this before. I wish they would throw some little paint on here for the like spokes or the hubcaps. I think it would just make these look a lot better. And what else is there? I think that's about it as far as any nitpicks I'd have with the alt mode here. Other than that, it's a pretty nice alt mode. I like it. It looks pretty cool. If you notice here on the roof, it does have some of the little ports here for the little clip system that the weapons are using here on some of these Transformer figures. So you can attach the weapon here to the roof, which we'll take a look at here in a little bit. And speaking of his weapon, if you turn him here to the underside, you can store his gun here like so, and that'll form the second exhaust pipe here. So that's kind of a nice little feature. I always like stuff like this where you can store the weapon on the toy. You don't have to worry so much about losing it or, you know, getting it broken or something like that. So that's always a nice little touch. And you can flip this down here, the little like the little door of the bed of the truck there. So that's can come down. So if you want to maybe put something in there, you can flip it up and down. It's really part of the transformation, but it's cool that you're able to do that. It does roll fairly well, so it's pretty cool. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the alt mode. Pretty cool little alt mode. So let's get started transforming this guy, and the first thing you want to do is just remove his weapon here. It just kind of comes off this little post here, and then just slide it out like so. And there's his rifle. As you can see, it's got the little clip system there, and it's on like a little ball joint. It can pivot and swivel around. And like I was saying, you can store it right here. You just pop it into any one of these ports. Oops, let's kind of get it in there like that. So you can have it like that, or you can bend it because of the little joint there. Maybe have it tilted sideways like that. It's really up to you how you want to do it, and it can rotate around again because it's on like a little ball joint. So you can do that, or you don't have to if you don't want to. It's really up to you. So let's set that to the side, and let's get started transforming this guy. Transformation on this guy I actually kind of like. It's not real simple, but it's pretty simple in that it shouldn't take you a whole lot of time to get it transformed. It's not overly complicated for complication's sake. You know, and it's not too basic either, so it's pretty cool. I like it. Basically what you want to do is just loosen up his arms here first, and to do that you start by popping the tires off here like so, and like I said, just kind of grab his arms here and kind of loosen them up They're kind of like tabbed in here. They're basically just little panels like that. And do the same thing on this side like that, and that's going to free up his arms. And you just kind of move him out of the way here. And you want to kind of move this joint up so it kind of locks into place, and you can bend it down like that. And same thing here. And the next part would be to kind of just bend his legs here, or what's going to be his legs, like so. And then you want to take the whole cab part here and kind of lift it up. It'll kind of separate from this front part here. And the hood of the truck here is kind of pegged in. There's like a little clip or a little tab underneath there that kind of holds it into place. And you just got to kind of loosen that off of there, off the front grille here, like so. And then this whole part should just rise up like this on this little arm. Okay. And then what you want to do next is to rotate his chest and torso area here. And that's just going to kind of flip around like this. And then these parts here are going to kind of get pulled in as you rotate this. So just do it like this. Actually, let's turn him around facing this way so you can see his head. And that's, just rotate it till it kind of like clicks into place. Like that. And you can kind of see how these are kind of angled in now. They're on these little like kind of spring-loaded joints right here. And then this part here is going to just be kind of like a little backpack or whatever for him. And you just fold this under like that so it's kind of flat. And just rotate that back like that. Now to do his legs, just separate them here. And if you bend these parts back here, which are going to become his knees, just kind of bend them back like that. That'll allow you to swivel this part around like this. Just kind of put it into that position there. So do that for each one of these. And then he's kind of got these great big feet here, so just rotate this part out. That's going to form his foot. And straighten out the little heel part here. Just do that. And then you can push these parts in to this gap here to kind of fill that out. And that's going to kind of form like his knees. And just make sure those little panels don't catch on the edges there. And it should all just go right in there. And mine's catching a little bit. Let's see. There we go. So there you go, and just kind of straighten everything out. So that's going to form his feet and legs. And now his head's kind of smushed down there. Just kind of pull it up like so. And let's make sure we got this all the way rotated back. Yes, we do. Now these tires here, you have a couple different ways how you want to do them. First of all, you want to take these panels here and just rotate them. So just take them like this and twist them around so that they're kind of facing the other way, so they're not hitting the wheels here. Whoops, his arm got bent like that. And just kind of move his shoulder joints up into the right location like that. Now, like I was saying, the little tires here, you can kind of leave them off to the side there if you want, or you can just fold them up like this so they're sitting up like that, or you can kind of angle them. It's really up to you how you want to do it. I just kind of leave them like this, actually, I think, for the most part. And you know, they kind of move around as you move the shoulder joints here, because they're really connected to that part of him. So as you move them around, they're going to kind of, you know, tend to change position on you there. So you just do something like that. Let's kind of get his elbow straightened out there a little bit more. I do have to say though, I think these panels here, I wish they would have maybe had like a hinge here or something, or a little slot in here where you could slide it back a little bit, because I don't like the fact that these kind of really extend past his hands there. It seems like it kind of gets in the way, especially if you view it from the side. It just looks like a big panel hanging off there. You can't actually see his hand. I think that's a little distracting. They probably could have done that part a little bit better. But that's pretty much him there now in his robot mode. So let's kind of zoom in here and just take a look at him up close. Just check out the detail on him. So there he is there. Pretty cool looking robot mode. I actually like it a lot. He does have some pretty decent light piping in here. You can see it back there. It's just clear right there. And he's got blue light piped eyes. It's not showing up really well here on my lighting though. And he's got the nice little Autobot symbol there on his chest, and it's kind of got the sculpting like the old school design there. And there's his arms, which we kind of talked about with the panels, which I don't really care for too much. And there's his legs. Does have some gaps in here. Not too bad. You know, these little parts in here kind of fill that up. And he does have some pretty big feet, which is good because it means he stands very well. Shouldn't have any real balance issues with him. And let's just kind of go back up and turn him around. The back, the little backpack here is not too bad. It's not a whole lot of kibble hanging off of him or anything. I think it fits on there pretty well. So there that is there. And just the back of him there. And about the back, you'll notice that the ports are accessible back here, which means you can take his little gun and attach it like so, and have it kind of like a little, sort of like a shoulder mounted weapon there if you want. Or you can just pop it off here. Let's go out a little bit. And just, you know, have him put it in his hand like he normally would. And it just pegs right in, holds it very well. Shouldn't have to worry about it at all. So there he is holding his weapon. And as far as the articulation goes on him, he's pretty well articulated. The head here can move around very well, left and right, go up and down. It can also kind of tilt in like that, so you can kind of have him ducking down. It's kind of silly. Shoulders here can go like this, up and down. They can also kind of go like that because of the way it transforms, which is a little odd. I wish they would have had something maybe where they could really lock it into place, because now you kind of got one arm drooping down lower than the other, but not a big deal really. And you can rotate here at the upper shoulder area, bend at the elbows, bend them in like this even here, and the little wrists here rotate. The hips here can go like so, rotate around, in and out, rotate here, sort of like mid-thigh, bend at the knee, and then the feet can kind of pivot like this and go up and down. So pretty good range of motion really for this guy, for a deluxe class figure. No waist rotation though, which is kind of lacking really. But other than that, pretty good range of motion really. And he does look kind of tall here. He looks pretty tall for a deluxe class. I think he's a little kind of lanky compared to some other deluxe class figures. I don't really have any other figures on hand right now to kind of compare him with, but he is a little, he looks taller than what he really is. He's not that tall, but he does kind of have a longer, slender look to him, which I find a little, not odd, but it wasn't what I was expecting with Kup. I figured he'd be a little more shorter and squat, just kind of compared to how he used to be drawn, and just kind of the old school toy. He always kind of had a more compact look to him in my eye. So to see him here looking a little bit taller and lankier is a little bit of a surprise for me. But I actually like it. I think it looks very cool like that. Would I say to get this guy? Yeah, I think he's a pretty cool deluxe class figure. Definitely one of the better Generations figures out there. He's cool. I like the character of Kup. So yeah, I'd say if you find this guy, go out and get him. He's worth the price. So go out and get this guy. And with that, I think I'll wrap it up here with my look at the Transformers Generations version of Kup.